I don't want that. Oh, sorry, everybody. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I don't want that camera. I don't want... I've got the wrong camera connected. Just give me a second to see whether I can figure out what on earth is going on. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. I knew I should have tested it. But never mind. That's because I was been fiddling with it last night. Now, where on earth do I go here to get rid of that one? Yeah. Disconnect. Oh. This is going to be a disaster if I can't get rid of that. Oh no, sorry everybody. Just give me a minute. Settings.
Maybe I have to show you that.
Turn off the camera. What's that, Treasure? I don't know how to disconnect the damn thing. Oh no. Where's my lead gone, Ange? Have you just nicked it?
I just put it away.
Oh, I might need that.
So you haven't got Bluetooth connected to it or anything?
No, I've got nothing connected. I'm going to have to connect the camera. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to do it all the time. Bother. Well, it did say it was on the correct camera, but it obviously doesn't like that one. Sorry, everybody. Do bear with me a minute. Everything's gone a bit Pete-Tom. Yeah, typical. Right, let's see. Where there? When disaster strikes, you know what it's like. We got any picture at all then?
Yeah.
Have you? That's remarkable.
Or chair.
You've got a chair. Hang on. Oh, bother. I don't want that. Don't want that. Right, I'm so sorry, everybody. Absolute disaster. Hang on. Yeah.
Still a bit wonky.
Still a bit. No, I'm going the wrong way.
No, you're going the wrong way.
Am I going the wrong way? I'm going the wrong way. Ah. That'll do.
You like that at the minute.
That'll do. I can see myself now. Thank God. Right. Good evening, everybody. Sorry about that small disaster. I didn't intend to do this. Unfortunately, I was testing out a HD camera this week and connecting it to my phone with an app. And of course, it's decided tonight to default to that camera. I don't know how the hell to switch it off. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You've got me in slightly higher definition. Not a lot, but a bit. But I might be looking, instead of looking at the camera, I'm going to be looking at my computer screen, which I can do with it being a bit higher. But never mind. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this back here a bit. Take that back there a bit. That's it. We'll see whether we can get me. Oh, dear Lord. Never mind. Right. Great to see so many of you taking part tonight. It is, of course, our 100th anniversary today. So 100 quizzes today. You'll be pleased to know I've had some fantastic cards and thanks off one or two people. So thank you very much for those teams. I've also been given a fantastic chocolate cake by the Booby Prize girls. And thank you very much to the Booby Prize girls. It was, it's halfway through at the moment, this chocolate cake, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I will see whether I can show it. It's a bit tricky. Let me move my camera around. Here we go. I will pan around to my cake. Where's it gone? No, I won't. Yes, I will. Here we go. This was the cake, which is now half eaten, of course. What does that look like? Oh, what's about there? Right, enough of that. The cake is now half eaten, which, of course, all for those that, oh, bother, that's better. Right then, this is a bit awkward because my tripod's too high, but never mind. So, thank you very much for the gifts I've had for our 100th quiz. And as I said, it's great to see so many of you taking part tonight, especially. Let's just go through and see which teams have managed to get themselves online, even if I've had a hiccup this end already. I'm talking about the microphone's in the wrong place. Right, let's try and bring that forward as well. Right, Ian's just joined us. So first of all, 1 minute, first people to sign in tonight was Squeaky Pub. So thank you very much, Squeaky Pub. Oh, then we had Ian Miller. Oh, the wife's just made me something. Wait a minute. There we have it. She's made me a silly hat. Yes, a very silly hat. It says 100 quizzes on it, but never mind. No, I'm not letting anybody know, but there we have it. 100 quizzes. And I also had this off somebody, so... Oh, dear. Well, that was better. So that's to the lot of you. Thank you very much for that. And I'll take my hat off, otherwise we'll never get anywhere with the quiz. Right, let's start off. Who was signed on first tonight? We had Squeaky Bob. So good evening to Squeaky Bob. Then we had Ian join us, Ian Miller. Good evening to Ian. Hope all is well with you. Then we had... Keith Mitchell is saying, hi, Nick, from a very balmy Minehead. Lovely day here. How was it with you? Well, to be fair, Keith, it started fantastic. I mean, we woke up this morning to beautiful blue skies, and I thought, today's the day to charge the car, you see, which I do regularly off my solar roof. Unfortunately, by the time it got to dinner time, the clouds started coming over, and we had a rather overcast afternoon, didn't we, Lydia? So, yeah, it's been warm all day, and we went out for a small walk this afternoon, and it's been great. And then I stayed in and watched the football, which I might as well have not bothered doing. Complete disaster, but there we have it. So that was the day. So Ian's just saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. You're quite right, Ian. I was just mucking about. I didn't expect it to default, because at the bottom of my screen, it shows you which is the default camera. And I'd set it at that. Unfortunately, it defaulted to the non-default camera, which basically means I've had to hook my phone up. So you are now viewing me via my iPhone, which is fine. But last night I was mucking about, and I was getting about half an hour behind with the picture and the sound, which was a nightmare until I dropped the resolution right back. It appears my computer can't handle. Well, I need a faster computer. It's as simple as that. Right then, Keith Mitchell saying, get the instruction book out. Yeah, that's easy said when you're when you're doing things like that, but never mind. Andrew's saying, Andrew Lewis has just joined us. So Andrew and Jane, they're saying here, assisted by our daughter Rachel and her dog Lexi. So good evening, Rachel and Lexi. I hope you enjoy the quiz tonight, especially with Andrew and Jane. You'll have a fantastic foursome getting together there, and hopefully you do well in the quiz tonight. Faye's just joined us. She said, hi all, happy Sunday, and congratulations on our 100th quiz from the Booby Prize Girls. So thank you very much, and a special thanks go to the Booby Prize Girls for making me a chocolate cake, which of course does tend to suggest that I might allow them an extra point. Whether that should be allowed or not, no, I won't. Let's not go there. Because if I went down that route, I've also got to thank Matthew, who arrived at my house this afternoon with 1 or 2 ales and of course, the 100th anniversary card, which was courtesy of Matthew and Claire. So thank you very much for that. And Robin, of course, sorry. And yes, it's been great to all of you have been chipping in with things. So Sarah's just joined us as well. So she's saying 100th quiz. You should have the hang of it by now. You're quite right, I should, Sarah. Unfortunately, when you're testing new things out, not only have I upped the quality of my voice, obviously, but I was trying desperately so that you could see me in high definition. But unfortunately, as I mentioned, my computer's just not fast enough to handle the processing power required for HD transmission. But never mind, you've got me in slightly higher definition tonight, but not much, he said knowingly. Martin Davis has just joined us. Good evening, Martin. He's saying good evening. And Nick from the Wheat Links, all fully inoculated. What's that? All fully initiated into the AstraZeneca club after this afternoon's trip to Stoneleigh. Excellent. Well done, Martin. Tina, that's great. Ian saying, hurrah. Clive and Janet joined us to tease us. Hi, everybody. They're saying Penny Graham's also just joined us. Hello, Nick and Lydia and Angie saying, PRS saying, good evening. PRS signing in. Happy 100th. We've got Jed and Tracy signing in as well. Hi, all. Been a lovely day in Burton. Well, it was a lovely day in Rugby until this afternoon. Then it just got a bit overcast, but it's still been it's been a very nice day, really. Penny's saying, well done for the 100th quiz. Yes, well, it'd be interesting to know how many of you have managed anything more than 90. There's 1 or 2 of you have been doing the quiz ever since I can remember. So well done to all of you that certainly put up with me, because if you put up with me for 100 quizzes, that means you've been looking at me for about 200 hours, I suppose. The quiz lasts about, well, nearly 2 hours anyway. So that's 200 hours of watching Nick during lockdown. That's worth than watching the whole of, I don't know, Cold Feet or something like that. Yeah. Mike Yates has just joined us. Good evening, Mike. Hope all is well with you and keeping fit and raring to go tonight. Lisa's just joined. She's saying, good afternoon from a beautifully warm and sunny California. Happy 100th quiz, and thank you for keeping us going, or keep going with it. Yeah, well, it's been quite good fun to do, I have to say, and I think everybody's now got into the hang of doing a regular quiz, which is quite good fun. He says, no, so Jed and Tracy have just said happy 100th. Anyway, Mick and Bev have just joined us online, so we've now got Mick Roberts and Bev. So good evening to you two. Hope all is well, and thank you again. Somebody else with a little spot of beer this week. Well done, Mick. Jill's just joined us. Jill Pugh. So she's saying, hi everybody. Hope you're all well. This is Jill Pugh from Middletoft. So that'll be Steve and Jill join us. Home Alone 6 have just joined us. She said, hi Nick. We're all here and ready when you are. So Vanessa's saying hi from Vanessa. So good evening, Vanessa. Hope all is well with you. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. It's a bit too high. That's the problem. I've got it on a tripod, but it's not low enough. Actually, let me think of that. If I didn't have it on the table, I could have it a bit lower. But never mind. Pick a Mix have just joined us. Good evening, Pick a Mix, and thank you very much for that. And Kevin Kiernan and the Rugby Rotary Club. They're all raring to go. I can see that. Carol Green's also just joined us. She's saying, hi, Nick and company from a grey Cornwall. Well, did you not have a nice start to the day, or has it been grey all day in Cornwall? Never mind, you can't have it every way, he says. No, Keith Mitchell's also saying everything is back to front. I can change that if it looks back to front. Does my screen look back to front to anybody? What? My glasses look cockeyed. Well, probably because I'm kind of looking that way and my camera's looking the other way, and it's still a bit, cockeyed, but never mind. Actually, I can reverse the screen to make it the other way around if anybody really wants it the other way around. But never mind. It's the beauty of modern technology, he says now. Right, and Pick a Mix, they're here and ready to go. We've got Robin Miller. He's just said, happy 100th live stream to you. Happy 100th live stream to you. Blah, 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 blah. Happy live stream to you. Face just saying, liking your corner logo. Is that new? Which corner logo? Never noticed that before. Is there a corner logo there? Is that the one that says subscribe? Is there a corner logo on the screen? I can't see one. Has that not been on at all? You've never seen that? Well, that's probably because my previous camera, of course, isn't widescreen, so perhaps it didn't pick up the thing in the bottom right-hand corner. Now I've gone to widescreen. Perhaps it has. Never mind. It gets very confusing, all this malarkey. But never mind. Michelle's just joined us, so she's saying, brilliant work, Nick. Lydia and Angela. Thanks, Michelle. Do remember, I've still got to sort your fish and chip supper out, which I owe you, but never mind. We'll get that sorted, I'm sure. Georgia, she's saying hello from the Yorkers, so it's good evening to Georgia and Rory. Hope all is well. Well, it is. This end, he says knowingly. Home Alone 6. They're saying it's bribery. If it all it takes you should have said cakes next week. Well done, Carol. That's what I like to hear. Carol apparently is the cake master, aren't you, Carol? Who did that silly hat, says Ian. Well, I think it was the wife, actually. And it is a bit silly. We can put it on for a second just to show everybody again. 100 quizzes. Yes, the screen is working back to front, because when I go left, it goes right. When I go right, that's a bit discombobulating, actually, that. But never mind. I can turn it around, but I'm not going to because it'll muck everything up. So let's not worry about that. Right, Mike Yates says, in my writing. Yes, right. Chris is saying, happy John Denver Day from Newton. Just filled in my census. Debbie saying, good evening all. We've got Graham the Giffords have just joined us now from Toft. So they're saying good evenings and congratulations, as is Carol. The Cornish Tigers just joined us. Had to miss Wednesday, but caught up Thursday morning. Scored a fantastic 60. Well done, Carol. Yes, if you do miss the quiz, you can always make up. You know that's possible. You can always watch it the next week or the week after, depending on how. Of course, you can always do the same quiz that you did the week before and see whether you can score as many as you did the last time. Right, Ian, Anthony, James and Don Quizzotti have just joined us, so good evening to you. They've signed in from Clapham, Walkenden and 2 secret cells within Lower Hilt Morton. Fantastic. Pinky and Perky have just joined us, and John Humwick has also just joined us. He's saying greetings from a positively sunny Alloways. Faye's just saying, ooh, lovely. Greek beer. Ian's on the Greek beer. Jill says, how did you manage to get your hair cut? Oh, well, that's the wife for you, Jill. She just snips at it with some snippers of some descriptions. The Ridgeways have just joined us, so they're signing in from a sunny Welton, and Dave Anderson's also just joined us. We also have Adam Foster and Spoon and Fish, of course. They're ready and raring to go. We've had John O'Rourke and the Famous Five just join us. Climb Janet and the Teasers have just joined us. And we're on a few. Well, it's going a bit faster than I can say, but never mind. Robin's tapping his watch, which generally means it's a minute late. Professor Quizwitty has also just joined us from Lancaster and Rugby, and they are ready to go. So at the moment, we have 81 participants taking part tonight so far. So then, without further ado, let's see whether I can get my yes, I can get my quiz on the screen, which is good going. Let me just run through the rounds quickly because I haven't mentioned those. I've been waffling too much. We're starting off tonight. Round number 1 is entitled. It's entitled Sunday, the 21st of March. Sunday, the 21st of March. Round number 2 is an initial letter link. Round number 3 is entitled Arms. Something to do with arms, even. Then we have a mystery letter round. I'm desperate not to give the letter away tonight, but we'll see. The connections round is next, round number 5. And finally, we end up with a general trivia. 10 questions on just general trivia to keep you all going this evening. Right then, last week's winners, we had the Quizzy Rascals. They ended up on 63 points with PRS, the Teasers on 62. Then we had Split the Difference and the Rugby Roach Club. Both managed a fantastic 60. Keith Mitchell on 59.5, along with the Ridgeways. Then we had the Famous Five on 59. Debbie McCarthy, Carol Green, and Home Alone 6, all with a very respectable 58 points. Oh, Val's just joined us as well, so we're all ready to go. Okay then, everybody, without further ado, let's get going with the quiz tonight. So starting with the letter S, as in Sunday, question number 1. What is the name of a recreational lake in Hyde Park, which was created in 1730 at the bequest of Queen Caroline? Excuse me for a second. So question 1 again. What is the name of a recreational lake in Hyde Park, which was created in 1730 at the behest of Queen Caroline? It's a one-word answer I'm after. I'm sure that couldn't be too tricky. Number 2, if you've been there, I haven't, but I'm sure there's a good number that have. What is one of the most popular tourist attractions of Florence and one of the most visited art museums in the world, with 4.4 million visitors alone in 2019? I noticed we haven't got the 2020 figure down, but never mind. So what is one of the most popular tourist attractions of Florence and one of the most visited art museums in the world, with 4.4 million visitors alone in 2019? Robin saying, ooh, behest. Well, that's a good word by any standards. What did we come across the other day, Angela? We were doing some crossword the other day and we could not get the anagram. What's that? Oh, I can't remember what it was. Never mind. Question number 3. At a height of 2,469 metres above sea level, Gallipoli is the tallest mountain in which Northern European country? So at a height of 2,469 meters above sea level, Gallipoli is the tallest mountain in which northern European country? That is how it's pronounced, apparently, in English. Thereabouts, anyway. It's spelt phonetically on my screen, you see. You can't see that. I do a bit of cheating. Well, I try to. It doesn't always work. Now, Matthew, Nick, are you drinking orange juice? Well, I've got some magnificent pineapple milkshake IPA to test tonight, Matthew, thanks to one team. Right, question number 4, starting with the letter D. Named after an English county, what is a geological period spanning 60 million years from the end of Silurian to the beginning of the Carboniferous? So question 4 again, named after an English county, what is a geological period spanning 60 million years from the end of the Silurian to the beginning of the Carboniferous? Don't tell me have I got that wrong? No, it could be inland. Right then, question number 5. No, I'm not giving a lot away here, but I will give half points here. So then, foreign holiday providers, this starts with letter A, usually give ATOL certified protection to clients. But what do the initials ATOL stand for? So foreign holiday providers usually give ATOL certification or certified protection to clients. But what do the initials ATOL stand for? I'll give you half a point for the first 2 and half a point for the second 2. That's words, that is, because it's a 4-word answer, obviously, ATOL. You'll do well to get that, I have to say, because I looked at it and thought, oh my God, but never mind. I really could do with this being a bit higher, and then I could get the camera behind me. That's all right. It's not a problem. I'll get it sorted for next week. It's actually working. It's not working too bad. It's working better than I thought it was going to do. Question number 6. What word can be a short, shrill bark, an informal name for a person's mouth, or an island found in the Federate States of Micronesia? That was on the chase the other night. Not the last bit was anyway. Because Anne knew the answer to that one. So what word can be a short, shrill bark, an informal name for a person's mouth, or an island found in the Federate States of Micronesia? That starts with the letter Y. Right then, as is always the case, we've now got through the S-U-N-D-A-Y, or we should have done. Now we're on to the numbers 2 followed by 1. 2 followed by 1. So question number 7, the vernal equinox, the time that the sun crosses the celestial equator into the northern hemisphere, happened on which day of March this year? Or happens on which day of March this year? Although it's actually happened, so that'll probably give you some clue there. So the vernal equinox, the time that the sun crosses the celestial equator into the northern hemisphere, happened on which day of March this year? Do remember that's got to start with the number 2, so it's not too hard to get that one right. Unless you put the second down, of course. Now then, question number 8. I'm after a measurement. I'm sure all of you have played this game at one time in your life. How tall are the pins in the game of 10-pin bowling? Now, I'm going to give you a choice. Is it 11 inches high, 15 inches high, or 18 inches high? They don't seem very big when they're right down the other end, do they? But they're quite large. So question 8 again, how tall are the pins in the game of 10-pin bowling? I'll give you the choice. Is it 11 inches, 15 inches, or 18 inches? This is where a big team helps, because you all say, no, it can't be that big. It can't be that small. They all start arguing with each other. Well, nobody really knows the answer at all, but never mind. You'd like to have a reasoned guess there. I'm sure you can all work that one out. He said, well, no, perhaps you can't. Question number 9. I know Home Alone 6 will get this, and I know Mick and Bev will get this, and I know Mr. Rourke will get this as well. Fat Robin will get this. Both Ravel and Rimsky-Korsakov wrote orchestral compositions based on the same collection of Middle Eastern folk tales and gave their pieces what one-word name? Now that starts with the letter S. So starting with the letter S, both Ravel and Rimsky-Korsakov wrote orchestral compositions based on the same collection of Middle Eastern folk tales and gave their pieces the what one-word name? I've put the what. Don't know why I've done that. That's for all you Rimsky-Korsakov fans, of course. Got to be a few of you out there, surely. Question number 10, starting with the letter T. In late 1773, with an event that ultimately led to the American Revolution, what cargo was carried by the British merchant ships Eleanor, Beaver, and Dartmouth? So in late 1773, with an event that ultimately led to the American Revolution, what cargo was carried by the British merchant ships Eleanor, Beaver, and Dartmouth? Do you remember? That starts with the letter T. Right, to finish this round off, there's 3 more questions starting MAR, as in March. So question number 11. What is a type of dry pasta shaped like narrow tubes? It is made with durum wheat and is commonly cut in short lengths. So what M is a type of dry pasta shaped like narrow tubes? It is made from durum wheat and is commonly cut in short lengths. Question number 12. What one word can precede the words Tasman, Magwitch, and seaman? And that starts with the letter A. So what one word can precede the words Tasman, Magwitch, and seaman? My Chinese mate collects toys from the 70s. He's got some clackers. Oh dear. They were great. Do you remember clackers?
Yeah.
They were dangerous, they were. But no, they probably wouldn't be allowed today, would they? Clackers. Fantastic toy they were. Right then, question number 13. 2-word answer starting with the letter R, with an example being the Lovell at Jodrell Bank. In what type of telescope might you come across a unit of flux density known as the Janksy? That sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? So, with an example being the Lovell at Jodrell Bank, in what type of telescope might you come across a unit of flux density known as the Yanksy or the Janksy? What's that say? Jackie says, just because it's the 100th quiz, you don't have to make it really hard. Oh, it gets easier. Don't worry. Don't worry. It gets much easier. Where's everybody gone? I've lost everybody. Oh, no, I've got you back. You're all right. We're still there. Right then, everybody, I think we've probably had long enough. I had my COVID jab this week. Unfortunately, I came home with a clot. It was to be expected, as I've been married to her for nearly 30 years. I'm glad she's not watching, Chris. Oh dear, oh dear. If I said that to my wife, oh dear God, I'd be out the house for the rest of the night. Oh dear, dear. Yeah, Chris, I feel you may be in the spare room tonight. It's all right. She's not watching. She's not watching Michelle. She can't be. Chris can't be that brave, can you? Oh dear, dear, dear. Dear. Fair play to you. Right then, let's do some marking after this dead easy first round. Come on, everybody. It wasn't that hard, was it? Maybe it was. Oh dear. Even the wife saying it was. Got to have been. Right then, we started off the S, of course. The recreational lake in Hyde Park is better known as the Serpentine. The Serpentine. Question number 2. The populous tourist attraction starting with the letter U, of course, is the Uffizi Gallery. The Uffizi Gallery. Number 3, at a height of 2,490 above sea level, Gallifobidi is the tallest mountain in which northern European country, starting with an N, that's Norway, of course. Number 3, named after a county, what geological period comes between the Silurian and the Carboniferous? That's the Devonian. Devonian, obviously after Devon. So well done if you got that, especially you people down south would have got that. Now then, one that was tricky, atoll. I will give you half a point for air travel. And the OL stands for Organisers License or Organisers Licensing, which was very tricky. Air Travel Organisers License, apparently. Yes, quite. That's what I thought. So half a point if you get air travel. And, well, you feel inclined to give yourself half a point if you got enough of that. I'll give you that. Question number 6, of course, that short, shrill bark by a dog or something is a yap. It's also the name of an island found in the Federated States of Micronesia. The vernal equinox took place at 9:37 yesterday morning. That's the 20th of March this year. Number 8, a 10-pin bowling ball is 15 inches in height. It's 15 inches. Well done if you worked that out. Ravel and Rimsky-Korsakov both wrote classical compositions called Scheherazade. The Scheherazade. Well done if you worked that out. Number 10, of course, was tea, as in the Boston Tea Party, where they threw all the tea into the harbour. They came from the merchant ships Eleanor, Beaver and Dartmouth. Number 11, of course, was macaroni, that dry pasta. Number 12 was able, that word that can go before Abel Tasman, of course, Abel Magwitch, and Abel Seaman. Well done if you worked that out. And final number 13, of course, I was after a radio telescope. I was after a type of telescope. Well, the ones that deal with a flux density known as a Yangtze or a Janksy is a radio telescope. So well done if you got that. What's Chris put now? He's Jono. She will get it on catch up. Then so, oh dear, he might do. From Mrs. Chris, I went for my jab. The nurse said, just a little prick. I said, yes, I know. I've been married to her for nearly 30 years. Oh, dear God. Keep them coming, Chris. They're good tonight. Good form tonight. I think you've said both of those to cover yourself. Well, I know you have really, but never mind. Right, let's have some scores in so we're all fair, because that was a tough round. However, as is always the case, I'm sure we've had a few full points. So Clive and Janet Matisa straight up for the 13. We've got Carol Green with a 12. Footy Fox 86 from the 9. We've got Michelle Gibbons 11.5. Pingy Perky and Friends on 10. We've got John Humwick on 13. PRS on 11.5. Mick Roberts is on 13. Well played, Mick. Ian Miller's on 9.5. David and Anderson are on 10.5. Got the Wheat Links. They're on 12 points. Jill and where have they gone? They've just got off my script. Jill and Steve Pugh on 12.5. Mike Yates on 11. Home Alone 6 on 12. Keith Mitchell's on 11.5. Got Split Difference on 12. Squeaky Bob's 11.5. Piggy Mixer on 11. We've got Faye. Faye's doing very well on an 8. Now, do remember to give yourself an extra point tonight, Faye, when nobody's watching. Professor Quiz Witty on 11.5. Graham and Jane Gifford on 11.5. Penny Graham's on 8. We've got the famous 5 on 12.5. Don Quixote doing very well on 12. We've got Adam Foster Spoonfish, he's saying, ouch, that was a tricky round. I want 8. Jed and Tracy on 10.5. Georgie Lambert saying 3.5. Ah, for the disappointed Yorkies. Sorry, Georgia. Right, they get easier. Don't worry, don't worry. Debbie McCarthy's on 12. We've got Chris Speaker on 9.5. We've got the Ridgeways 12.5. We've got Team UK USA on 10. We've got the Rugby Rotary Club have started off with a very respectable 11.5. And John just said, I went for my jab today and they used a socially distanced needle. It was 2 meters long. Dear God. Well done, John. Yes. Right then, everybody. Jill's just saying, she's saying, is that a Cambridge Festival glass? It is indeed a 32nd Cambridge Beer Festival glass from 2005, that one, Jill. So that still goes back a long way. Hopefully there will be a Cambridge Beer Festival maybe later in the year this year, because it's normally May time, so maybe they'll have to do a winter Cambridge Beer Festival or something. We'll see. Val Barnes and the Quizzer Rascals, fantastic, off with a 12 points. Oh dear. Carol's just said, did you hear about the claustrophobic astronaut? He just needed a little space. Oh, talking of that, do remind me if it's anybody's birthday. That's one thing I haven't mentioned. So do feel free to let me know in the chat if it's anybody's birthday this coming week, or today or yesterday or whatever else, and I will sing in my normal manner, happy birthday to you, and we'll go from there. Right then, round number 2. Round number 2 is what's called an initial letter link. An initial letter link, basically 9 general knowledge questions, where question 10 asks you to take the first letters of the first 9 answers, rearrange them to spell out something nice and easy. So question number 1. Which 1980s #1 hit single by Frankie Goes to Hollywood includes the line, hit me with those laser beams? So which 1980s #1 hit single by Frankie Goes to Hollywood includes the line, hit me with those laser beams? What's that? What's that? I bought some powdered water yesterday. Thing is, I don't know what to add. Oh dear. Question number 2. Listen carefully. What is the official language of the country of Grenada, which consists of the island of Grenada itself and 2 smaller islands, Carriacou and Petite Martinique? So question 2 again, what is the official language of the country of Grenada, which consists of the island of Grenada itself and 2 smaller islands, Carriacou and Petite Martinique? Question number 3, 2-word answer, dead easy. Who led the French army at the Battle of Waterloo, but was subsequently defeated by a British-led coalition? So question 3 again, who led the French army at the Battle of Waterloo, but was subsequently defeated by a British-led coalition? Now, after the last round, on that dead easy question about the cargo ships, I thought I would try this little number here, which is entitled Boston Tea Party. Smells good. So we'll see what it is. See whether it's got the great taste of tea. Question number 4. Which Asian motor company has a name that is derived from a word meaning modernity? If that's a word, but it probably is. So which Asian motor company has a name that is derived from a word meaning modernity? Jono Potter's just piped up there. Better sing to the wife then, Nick. Oh, yes, it is her birthday, isn't it? Tomorrow. Yeah, I better have a... We'll wait till the end of the round there, Jono. I'm just glad to see you're out the bath anyway. I did find out some interesting research about people that spend too long in a hot bath, especially over 40 degrees centigrade. Apparently all their hair drops out. Actually, that does taste of tea. Question number 5. Won't Praise Us is an anagram of which movie character who was created by Mike Myers? There's a 2-word answer I'm after. So Won't Praise Us is an anagram of which movie character who was created by Mike Myers? You're right, Dean. It is showing a mirror image. I have tried to bring up the camera settings to flip it the other way around, but never mind. It's driving me spare because I keep looking that way and I'm looking the wrong way. It's very, yes, it's very awkward when things are back to front, but never mind. Not only that, it's up in the air too far as well. I'm using my, for those that don't know, I'm using my iPhone tonight as my camera, trying to improve the picture quality after improving the sound quality last week. But never mind, it's not worked out quite as I thought. Question number 6. A burqa, an enveloping outer garment, is worn in public by some women of which religion? So question 6. A burqa, an enveloping outer garment, is worn in public by some women of which religion? What's that? Oh, I found that one. So I don't get that. Perhaps I'm not getting that. I don't know. Question number 7. In early series of South Park, which character would normally say the line, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny"? So question 7 again. In early series of South Park, which character would normally say the line, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny"? Well, I didn't exactly say it like that, but that's what he said. How are we all doing so far with this round? Got to be easier than the last round, surely. But never mind, we'll see. Not much. Question number 8. In the opera by Gioacchino Rossini, what is the name of the Barber of Seville? I'm sure we all know that one. So in the opera by Gioacchino Rossini, what is the name of the Barber of Seville? This Boston Tea Party, apparently it says, award-winning beer proudly made in Yorkshire. The great taste of tea. Says here, UK Chief Medical Officer recommends adults do not regularly exceed 14 units a week. Well, that's fair play. Question number 9. Referring to its state at room temperature and its colour, quicksilver is an alternative name for which chemical element? So question number 9 again. Referring to its state at room temperature and its colour, quicksilver is an alternative name for which chemical element? Now then, question number 10, of course, is going to help you all out enormously, so I will give you a minute to try and work these out. Question 10 says the first letters of the first 9 answers can be rearranged to spell which occupation, which is generally considered to be the most dangerous in the UK, in terms of dying whilst at work? Well, it's not the oil industry, because I used to work in the oil industry, and that was pretty lethal. I always counted the number of days people died, but never mind. Well, since the last person died. But so question 10 again. The first letters of the first 9 answers can be rearranged to spell which occupation, which is generally considered to be the most dangerous in the United Kingdom in terms of dying whilst working. That, of course, is a 1-word, 9-letter answer. I hope it's not sexist, but and Carol knows several of these. Excellent. Well done, Carol. Well done if you've worked that out already, which is clearly the case. I'll just give you a minute to try and figure out what's going on there. In the meantime, has anybody else got a birthday? Well, I must just sing happy birthday to my wife. It's my wife's birthday tomorrow. I won't tell you how old she is because I've been banned from saying that, but she's nearly as old as me. In fact, she's slightly older than me, but never mind. Won't go there. So I better sing happy. So sorry, Robin, but I've got to sing this one. So happy birthday to Ange. Happy birthday to Ange. Happy birthday, my dear Angela. Happy birthday to you. Right, there we have it. She almost looked embarrassed. I can't believe that. Oh, my daughter missed it. Right then, everybody, should we go back to the beginning? How are we all doing? Does anybody need any extra time for that? Do feel free to put in the comments column if you need any longer to try and work that out. And the windows didn't break. Well done. No, they didn't, Ian. I wasn't singing in my normal falsetto tone. I was singing in a more tenor, should we say. Robin's just put, Angela forgets I know how old she is.
I knew it.
You could post it, of course, Robin, and then I wouldn't be in trouble. Oh. Oh dear, I'm not starting that. I'm going to be in big trouble. Should have put the cake away until tomorrow. Well, we were thinking of doing that. We've been eating the cake this afternoon. It's been fantastic. And yes, thank you so much for the chocolate cake and the cans of beer. That's been fantastic. And the cards and everything else is really appreciative. There's no doubt at all about that. Right, just giving you a little bit more time. I will try fiddling with this camera, see whether I can reverse it the other way around, but I don't know, my daughter's saying I wouldn't bother, but there we go. Mirror my video. There we go. Right, let's go back to where I was and see what's happened. Has that changed it round? Oh, it has. Yes, it's changed it round. That's better. Did you get a telegram? Oh dear. Right then, everybody, let's do some marking after that round. I trust we're all just about... Oh, no, Martin's just asked for some more time, as has Footy Fox 86. These are always good rounds. They just give you a chance to try and figure out on earth what's going on, but never mind. You've got a white top on now, said Ian. This is my shirt that I got this time last year. Well, it wasn't this time last year. It was just over a year ago in Vietnam. And I've worn it for lots of the Sunday quizzes. It's very nice, made of silk. It's very nice shirt. I'm glad I bought it. It's got a picture. Look at this. It's got a picture of a dragon across the front. Oh, I've shown you that. Not everybody's seen the picture of the dragon, but never mind. Okay, then, everybody. I know we're all dying to know the answers to round number 3. So, round number 2 even. Wee-ha! Here we go then. Initial letter link. We started off that Frankie Goes to Hollywood, which included the line, hit me with those laser beams, was relax, of course. Relax, get to it. Relax. Number 2, the official language of the country of Grenada. That's English, of course. English. Petite Martinique kind of led you down the garden path a bit with that one, but never mind. Question number 3 was Napoleon Bonaparte, of course. Question number 4, that Asian motor company I wanted is Hyundai. Hyundai, apparently meaning modernity. Number 5 was Austin Powers I was after. Number 6, the religion was Islam. Number 7, I was after Stan. He said, who said the line, "Oh my God, they've killed Kenny." That was Stan, apparently. Rossini, the name of the barber of Seville, of course, was Figaro. Figaro. That's probably a different one, probably a different Figaro, because there were lots of Figaros. Number 9, of course, Quicksilver was alternative name, was Mercury, or is Mercury. And finally, of course, if you rearrange the first letter of the first 9 answers, you should have got the occupation a fisherman. A fisherman. I suppose that's probably sexist now, because we'll have plenty of female fishermen, but whether they want to be called fishermen or fisherwomen, I don't know, or God knows. Right then, and I hope you, well, that was an interesting thing. Right, we've got some scores coming in. David Anderson on 20.5 points. We've got Michelle, Charlie and James on 19.5. Got the weak links and moved on to a very respectable 21 points. However, they've been pipped by the famous 5 on 21.5 points. We've got the Rugby Road Club on 20.5 points. Clive and Janet with the teasers on 23 points, with Mick Roberts still doing very well on 22 points. Well played, Mick. Sarah, our friend from Worcester. Sarah, Russ, James and Joe on 17 points. Carol saying in Padstow we lost 7 fishermen in 1992. Dear God. Well, that only goes to show how dangerous it is. Trish Ridgway, 22.5. We've got Spoon and Fish on 18. We've got Val Barnes and the Quizzy Rascals on 22 points. John Hunwick's moved on to 21 with PRS on 21.5. Ian Miller's retracted his message. Footy Fox 86 are on 15. Home Alone 6 doing very well on 21 points. We got Faye. Oh, bother. Faye's doing 15 for the pair of us. That's the Booby Prize girls doing really well on 15 points. We've got Squeaky Bob on 19.5. Keith Mitchell's doing well on 20.5. We've got Jed and Tracy on 16.5. Pick a Mixer on 18. Split the difference, 22 points. The Givers, that's Graham and Jane on 18.5 points. We've got Don Quizzote doing really well. This is their 18 tonight on 22 points. Penny Graham's on 14. We've got Pinky and Perky and Friends on 19 points. Georgie Lambert and the Yorkers, well, they've pulled up a little bit. 10.5 points. Well played to Rory and Georgia. We've got Ian Miller on 16.5. Devin McCarthy's moved on to 21 with Carol Green on 21 and Jill Pugh and Steve on 19.5. Lisa Lashker's not a good round for us. They're on 15 points. Well played, Lisa. We've got Professor Quiz Witty on 19.5 points with Mike Yates just Nats Nodger behind, so to speak, on 18 points. So well played, Mike. Right then, round number 3 tonight is entitled Arms, something to do with arms. I was going to say something before this round started, something very important about what's been going on today, but never mind. Never mind. I forgot what I was going to say now. That's because of my age, unfortunately. When you get to my age, you start forgetting things rather faster than you remember them, but never mind. Let's not worry about that. I'm sure over these 100 quizzes, I'm sure a lot of you will have at least learnt a few things. I know my daughter Liz has been going, "Ooh, I know that one, don't you, Liz?" Yes, she's been learning things as we go. So here we go then. Arms, something to do with arms, either in the question or in the answer. So question number 1, set in the North Riding of Yorkshire and broadcast between 1992 and 2010, the locals in which TV show often drank at a pub called the Aiden's Field Arms. Ian, that's getting really close to the bone. A cow can produce up to 500 litres of methane a day. Well, the one I married does anyway. Another brave man. You're right, Keith. You're right. So I'm glad he'll be locked out his house tomorrow. I mean, tonight, yes. Dear God. Well, people are very brave, aren't they, when they know their wife's not watching them? Oh, dear, oh, dear. Question number 2. Listen carefully. The marine invertebrates, known as echinoderms, belong to the classification Asteroidae, typically have how many arms? So the marine invertebrates, known as echinoderms, belong to the classification Asteroidae. They typically have how many arms? She speaks highly of me too. Oh dear. That's dreadful. Another bribe. She speaks highly of me too. You tell them, Carol. They're lucky still to be married, aren't they, these men? Dear, I would never say anything like that. I wouldn't dare. No. I'd be branded with some hot poker somewhere. Oh dear, oh dear. She speaks highly of me too. She did speak highly of you. Keep them going, Leslie. I like that. Well, not in the same room. Sorry, you've got me giggling now. Right, here we go then. Question number 3. Listen carefully. This is for all you people that like your literature. The Ernest Hemingway novel of Farewell to Arms is centered around an American ambulance driver serving in which country's army during World War I? Now, I'm going to give you a choice here. Was it France's, Spain's, or Italy's? So question 3 again. The Ernest Hemingway novel, A Farewell to Arms, is centered around an American ambulance driver serving in which country's army during World War I? I'll give you the choice. Was it France's, Spain's, or Italy's? That's a good question by any standards, isn't it? Question number 4 is just a daft question. I'm sure you can work this one out. Do you remember what the name of the round is? Which of the British Armed Services was the second to allow women to enlist when it did so in the July of 1917? Oh no. My picture's behind the damn thing now. I've got a delay on my screen. So question number 4 again. Which of the British Armed Services was the second to allow women to enlist when it did so in the July of 1917? Oh, it's caught up now. This is the big problem I was having using my HD camera. Whenever I up the resolution to get slightly better resolution, which I can do, I was all out of sync with myself. I was waving or blinking at myself, and 30 seconds later, it was blinking at me, the screen. So I hate to think what it would have been like for you lot. Right then, question number 5. In Roger Hargreaves' Mr. Men books, who can make breakfast for himself without getting out of bed due to his incredibly long arms? So question 5 again. In Roger Hargreaves' Mr. Men books, who can make breakfast for himself without getting out of bed due to his incredibly long arms? I hope most of you have read the Roger Hargreaves books. They regularly come up in quizzes, that's for sure. Question number 6. This is a 2-word answer I'm after. In the original Band-Aid version of Do They Know It's Christmas, who sings the line, "Throw your arms around the world at Christmas time"? So in the original Band-Aid version of Do They Know It's Christmas, who sings the line, "Throw your arms around the world at Christmas time"? Ian's put picture round, Mr. Men. Yes. Well, it's a shame that in a pub I'd do a picture round on Mr. Men. I'd do a music round as well, but online it's a bit tricky. YouTube doesn't seem to allow certainly music. That's a problem. I could do some pictures, but they're a bit awkward to put on the screen. Well, not necessarily. Question number 7. Do remember most of these answers either have arm in the answer or the question. Which imperial unit of length was originally defined as being equal to the span of a man's outstretched arms? So which imperial unit of length was originally defined as being equal to the span of a man's outstretched arms? Sure, we all know that one. Bit of an archaic old unit, but still used today. And we'll swiftly move on to question 8 whilst you all fathom that one out. Question number 8, based on a novel by John le Carré, in which 2016 TV drama series did Hugh Laurie play an arms dealer called Richard Roper? Arm or arms, Leslie? Well, either or either. Either or either. That doesn't help really, does it? Arm or arms? So based on a novel by John le Carré, in which 2016 TV drama series did Hugh Laurie play an arms dealer called Richard Roper. It has been, that was actually repeated recently on the television. That. And a good series it was. It's a 3-word answer I'm after. Well worth a watch if you've not watched that. Of course, you're all doing very well to do the quiz tonight because, of course, BBC are reintroducing, what's on tonight? Line of Duty is coming back, of course. So I'm hoping, hope you'll all get that on catch-up tonight. But Squeaky Pop, yes, we saw it again recently. It was a good series. Leslie's saying one is twice as long as the other. How do you mean, Leslie? Wait a minute. We're going back to that one. Number 7, I suppose. Defined as equal to the span of a man's outstretched arms. Yes, arms. That's right. You're going on about number 7, aren't you? Number 7 again. Which imperial unit of length was originally defined as being equal to the span of a man's outstretched arms? I did throw you a clue in before we got on to question number 8 with that one. I'm sure you would have heard, but never mind. Question number 9 is another lyrics. Now look at them yo-yos. That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. Are the opening lyrics to which song? Sorry, to a song from which Dire Straits album? I've put which in there twice, Lids. And now look at them yo-yos. That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. Are the opening lyrics to a song from which Dire Straits album? We didn't spot that one, did we, Liz? Made a mistake on that. Never mind. And finally, question number 10. What is the more common name for the area of the human body medically known as the axilla? So what is the more common name for an area of the human body medically known as the axilla? Oh, all you good quizzes will get that. You've got to know your hallux from your pollux, so to speak. And your axilla from your maxilla. I'm sure there's plenty of you that have done a bit of human anatomy at one time or another. Now then, we are now going to test, whilst I just allow you to complete that round, we're now going to test this pineapple milkshake IPA, which sounds to me was made by Black Sheep Brewery. They spelt beer in 4 different languages: beer, beera, cerveza, beere. Just in case you didn't know what beer was in one language, I suppose, but never mind. just in case you thought it was a tin of beans or something. Right then, everybody, let's go back to the beginning of that. Is that Baba? Yes, it is here. Do we need any longer on that round, or we're all right with arms? So all the answers, either there were arms appeared in the question or the answer. Pretty straightforward general knowledge, that lot. So we set off, let's do some marking after that answer. So starting with number 1, set in the North Riding of Yorkshire, broadcast between 1992 and 2010. The Aidensfield Arms appears in the programme called Heartbeat. Well done if you got Heartbeat. Number 2, that marine invertebrates, known as echinoderms. Of course, they're starfish, and they have 5 arms. Number 3, Ernest Hemingway's novel, A Fairway to Arms, is centred around a ambulance driver who was driving for the Italians, of course, in Italy. Which of the British Armed Services was second to allow women to enlist? That was the Army. And it was only a few months, actually, after the Navy. But it was the Army, of course, Army. Ridiculous answer, that one. Never mind. Roger Hargreaves, Mr. Men Books, who can make his breakfast? That's Mr. Tickle, who has extremely or extraordinarily long arms. Number 6, in the original Band Aid version, Do They Know It's Christmas? Who sang the line, throw your arms around the world at Christmas time? Well, that could only be one. Well, it couldn't, actually. That was Boy George. Well done if you got that, Boy George. That was a bit tricky. Number 7, of course, I gave you that once you'd fathomed it out. It was the imperial unit of length, equal to the span of a man's outstretched arms. That was the fathom. Well done if you got that. Number 8, of course, was known as The Night Manager. Now, if you haven't seen The Night Manager TV drama, I think it's on BBC iPlayer. If it's not on BBC iPlayer, it will be on BBC, whatever they call it, BritBox. The Night Manager is well worth watching. Number 9, now look at them yo-yos. That's the way you do it. That comes from Dire Straits' album Brothers in Arms, of course. And the axilla, the human part of the body, the axilla is also known as the armpit, So well done if you got that. Right then, everybody, let's have some scores in after that. Tricky round. There were 1 or 2 in there I think people may have struggled on, but I think generally most people would have done all right with that little lot. So here's to trying some pineapple milkshake IPA. Right, the Quizzy Rascals have moved on to 31 points, which is a great score. The famous 5 not far behind on 29.5 of the teasers, also on 31 points. We've got David and Anderson on 28.5. We've got the Wheat Links on 28. Carol Green's moved on to 30. We've got Graham and Jane Griffin on 26.5. Michelle, Charlie and James are on 27.5. Mick Roberts doing remarkably well tonight. Well done, Mick and Bev on 30 points. Ian Miller's on 22.5. We've got Faye and Booper Prize Girls on 20. Adam Foster with Spoon and Fisher on 25. We've got Footy Fox 86 on 22. John Humwick's moved on to 29. Ping and Perkin Friends are on 27 tonight. Don Quixote, 30 points. Well played them. Debbie McCarthy also on 30 points. Well played them. The Yorkies now picking up a bit. And we've got Georgie and Rory on 17.5. Well played you. Jen and Tracy on 23.5. Penny Graham's now moved on to 20. Keith Mitchell's on 28.5. Got Pig and Mix on 26. The Rugby Rotary Club, 29.5 points. The Ridgeways, however, a point ahead on 30.5 points. Well played, Anthony, Paul and Trish. Mike Yanks on 23. We've got Squeaky Bob on 28.5. We've got Home Alone 6 on 30. Well played them. Team UK USA, 24. Bit of a recovery. Well played them. Jill and Steve Pure on 25.5. We split the difference on 31 points. PRS on 28.5. They'll be a bit disappointed with that, but they've got time to catch up yet. Have you tried that beer that tastes like beer? It's not bad. Professor Quizwit is on 27.5 with Sarah, Russ, James and Joe on 23 points. Now then, how's Mike Yates doing? God, dear God. Oh, right, I'm just testing this pineapple milkshake beer. Well, now that is an interesting taste. If you like, Mike Yates has just come up with a 23. I'm with you, said Robin. Yes, he likes beer that tastes like beer. Fair enough. Fair enough. There's nothing wrong with beer that tastes like beer. And that pineapple milkshake IPA tastes nothing like a normal beer. I'll give you that. But never mind. It's one to try at a beer festival the only time. Now then, round number 4, as always, a mystery letter round. 10 general knowledge questions where all the answers start with the same letter. The mystery, of course, is the fact that I don't tell you what that letter is. But, of course, the questions do tend to get easier, and then you can work them backwards. Now then, I don't want anybody trying to tell me what Robin's already put. What's the letter, Nick? Aha! Now, that was a sneaky underhand rule. That's the kind of thing I would expect from Robin Miller. But I would expect some more subtle approaches, possibly from Chris Speak or Matthew Blood. We will see. Or Roy Job, who can get a mystery letter out of me before the end of the round. So here we go then. Question number 1. It's a distance of approximately 450 miles. With what country is France's longest land border? So at a distance of approximately 450 miles, with what country is France's longest land border? You're on, love. My wife's just trying the pineapple IPA. It's gone down the wrong way. Oh dear. God dear. It's definitely a. God dear, my lord. You try that. See what you think of that one. Now that's the kind of beer I expect Robin Miller would love. Robin's a big fan of highly flavoured IPAs. He's always told me in the pub that he loves things that taste like cat's wee. Right then, question number 2. Listen carefully to this one. Which 2002 film, written and directed by Gurinder Chandra, features a women's football team called the Hounslow Harriers? I thought that may provoke a response, Robin, and I was quite right. It did provoke a response. So question 2 again. Which 2002 film, written and directed by Gurinder Chandra, features a women's football team known as the Hounslow Harriers? I remember watching it on the plane, actually. I was on the plane on my way to India watching that one. Interesting. Not a great film, I have to say, but it was a decent film. Yeah, it was one to watch, I suppose. Question number 3. Question number 3 is interesting. It's one that quizzers should know. I didn't know this one, but here we go. I'm sure it's a good quiz question. Whose song, It Doesn't Matter Anymore, was the UK's first posthumous #1 single in 1959? It's a 2-word answer. So whose song, It Doesn't Matter Anymore, was the UK's first posthumous #1 single in 1959? Do remember the questions will start to get easier, which may give you that letter away. I haven't had anybody else testing me. What's happened to Roy Job tonight? Has he gone off? I know he's probably watching the replay of Manchester United getting beaten again. Blooming Leicester. Never mind. He's not putting any jokes on today. I was expecting a joke or two, Roy. Come on, where are you? What are you doing? Question number 4. Howard Hughes' H4 Hercules flying boat, the Spruce Goose, we've all heard of the Spruce Goose, was made almost entirely of which wood? So question 4 again. Howard Hughes' H4 Hercules flying boat, the Spruce Goose, was made almost entirely of which wood? Well, there's a few can rule out, isn't there? You're not going to make it of ebony, I wouldn't have thought. Would you? Yeah, you might do. Never get off the ground. Question number 5, for all of those of you who have been there. Which northern city is served by a Forster Square railway station, a terminus for suburban services? So it's not a mainline railway station. So which northern city is served by Forster Square railway station, a terminus for suburban services? Right then, you should now, after this question, you should begin to get at least get the letter, which may help with the previous answers or questions even. Question number 6, the 5th most popular biscuit in the United Kingdom for dunking. What type of chocolate biscuit was named after a French royal house? It's a nice one, Ian. My wife said, come into the bedroom and I'll show you a good time. She started showing me pictures of her when her friends before we were married. Sorry, some pictures of her with her friends before we were married. See ya. Oh dear. Keep them coming, Ian. That's a good one. Question number 7. If you were suffering from the condition of nitrogen embolism, what more common name might it be called? And if we forget the word "the" in front, we don't include. So if you were suffering from a condition of nitrogen embolism, what more common name might this be called? Question number 8. In 1974 boundary changes, which county lost Didcot but gained Slough? So question 8 again. In the 1974 boundary changes, which county lost Didcot but gained Slough? Now, do remember all your answers have got to start with the same letter. So let's hope you've got the right letter by now. Question number 9. Although not allowed in the professional arena, wearing a beard is still prohibited in which Olympic sport? Sorry, I got that wrong, didn't I? Question 9 again. Although now allowed in the professional arena, wearing a beard is still prohibited in which Olympic sport? Although a moustache of the correct length is allowed, apparently. And finally, question number 10. By what name is the bank holiday known as St. Stephen's Day, more commonly known in the United Kingdom? So by what name is the bank holiday known as St. Stephen's Day, more commonly known as in the United Kingdom? Michelle said, Ian, you're on fire. Well, you will be when your wife gets you. Oh dear. I noticed Chris Speak hasn't said much recently. I think his wife's been watching in the other room. Chris, are you still alive? In fact, are you still alive as well, Ian? Oh yeah, Ian's still alive. He's doing all right. Right then, you should have got the mystery letter by now, so I will give you a minute to try and find all your answers that should start with the same letter. Remember, that's why the idea of a mystery letter round is they did start a bit tricky, but hopefully they got a bit easier as we went through the round. Oh, though I do doubt whether anybody's going to get all these right, but we will see. Right then, everybody, does anybody need any longer to work these out? Do feel free to stick it in the chat column quickly, if not. Now, do feel free, of course. It is our 100th tonight. I haven't made it the easiest in the world, and I'm sorry about the pictures and a few other things that my camera hasn't worked that well, but never mind. Do feel free, of course, to hit the like button. I like to try and get 40 likes on a Sunday night. More likes, the better. So do hit the like button if you haven't already, even if you don't like it. And, of course, you can subscribe to Nick's YouTube channel, which is Pewey1957, just by hitting the subscribe button, which is dead easy, isn't it? So there we have it. What's this? Ian's put, did you know she was an arsonist? Carol's put, I've just been on a once-in-a-lifetime holiday. I'll tell you what, never again. See you. Right then, everybody, let's do some marking. Doesn't appear that anybody needs any extra time, so I expect you've worked them all out by now. Right then, question number 1 was a complete trick question, as you would hope for, but never mind. Number 1 was not Belgium, but it in fact was Brazil. France's longest land border is with Brazil. Question number 2, I was after Bend It Like Beckham, that film. Number 3 was Buddy Holly. I'm sure we've all heard of him. Number 4, the Hercules flying boat. Apparently the spruce goose was made entirely of birch. Birch. Well done if you got that. I think 1 or 2 people might have put balsa for that, but it was birch. Number 5 was Bradford, that northern city. Number 6, of course, were Bourbons, that French royal household, and that chocolate dunking biscuit. Number 7 were the Bens, that nitrogen embolism. Number 8 is Berkshire, or Royal Berkshire, which lost Didcot but gained Slough. I'm sure they were pleased with that. Number 9, of course, wearing a beard is still prohibited in boxing, apparently. At the Olympics, you are allowed to wear now a short moustache, apparently. And finally, number 10, of course, the bank holiday I wanted, which is better known as St. Stephen's Day, is Boxing Day. Of course, Boxing Day. So well done if you got that. Right then, all the bees, they are indeed, he says Nerley. That question number 1 about Brazil, that's an interesting one. The French treat all their international borders as national borders, apparently. Unlike the British, which don't, but never mind. So, yes, can explain Brazil. Well, Graham, you'll have to look it up. It's quite interesting, that one, but never mind. It's to do with French Guiana, I think. But, right, we have Val Barnes on Quiz Your Rascals on a fantastic 41 points. I was born in Bradford, hence the Cornish tyke. Aha! Mick Roberts, 38. We've got Ian Miller on 30.5. PRS have moved on to 38.5, as have the famous 5 moved on to 38.5. That's brilliant scores. Footy Fox, 86, and now moved on to 30. We've got Michelle Gibbons, Michelle Charlie James on 36.5. The Wheatlinks have moved on to 36. We've got Pick and Mix on 35. Mike Yates on 31. We've got Squeaky Pub, 37.5. Jill and Steve Pugh even have moved on to 33.5. We've got David Anderson on 37.5. Debbie's going, yay, making a score of 40. Well done if you got that first one, Brazil. I'll take my hat off to that. Georgie Lambert, 25.5. The Yorkies, Jed and Tracy have moved on to 32.5 points. Well played them. We've got Home Alone 6 on 39 points. Carol Green's moved on to 40. We've got the Rugby Rotary Club on 38.5 points. Grant Gifford's moved on to 33.5. That's Graham and Jane. Don Quizzotti with a full team from all over the place are on 38 points. Penny Graham's on 26. We got Adam Foster and Spoonfish on 34 points. The Ridgeways have now moved on to 38.5 points, doing really well there. Clive and Janet, the Teasers, have moved on to 40 points. Fine, the Booby Prowse Girls are now moved on to 27. We've got John Humwick on 37. Sorry, 27. Keith Mitchell's now on 36.5. Sarah saying 31. We're talking too much and not concentrating. That's what I always say to my team, Sarah. It's always the same, you know. Never mind. That's the whole point of taking part in the quiz, getting together and chatting to everybody, even if it's not about the quiz. I get annoyed sometimes at the quiz. We go to the quiz when we used to go to the quiz, it was a good year ago. I was like, come on, you lot, you're not concentrating, you're talking too much. That's what goes on, doesn't it? Professor Whitty, he says 35 and a half. Lisa saying, I don't understand Brazil as the answer to question 1. Well, the thing is, Lisa, I think it goes something like this. France's borders are international. One of their dependencies, which is French Guiana, has a 400-odd mile border with Brazil, and they treat that as the longest French border, if that makes any sense whatsoever. You perhaps need to do a bit of research on it. It's because, unlike other countries, France treats all its independent countries as part of its own state. Yeah. So it's a bit like the USA, perhaps in Guam. I don't know, but I don't think they do. France are one of the only countries that do. We don't, certainly don't in this country. Right, enough of that. You need to perhaps just look it up on Wikipedia and see what it says. Right then, connections round number 5. We have a connections round. We have 2 sets of 4 general knowledge questions plus question 5 and 10 asking for a connection between the previous 4 answers. So pretty straightforward tonight, nothing too hard. It's a shame that the farmers aren't taking part in this one tonight, because the question number 1, they'll be all over question number 1. Question number 1, displaying musical memorabilia, the first of which cafe chain opened in 1971 at Old Park Lane, Mayfair, under the ownership of 2 Americans, Isaac Tiggett and Peter Morton. Tigrit even. So question number 1, displaying musical memorabilia, the first of which cafe chain opened in 1971 at Old Park Lane, Mayfair, under the ownership of 2 Americans, Isaac Tigrit and Peter Morton. And now they are a worldwide concern. Not just with cafes, but with hotels and all sorts. Question number 2, in horse racing, which racecourse hosts the Oaks Stakes and the Coronation Cup? So how are you keeping with your horse racing? In horse racing, which racecourse hosts the Oaks Stakes and the Coronation Cup? Ian's saying, yeah, been to the one in Sydney. Have you been to the one in Goa, Ian? It is, yeah. Question number 3. Listen carefully. On what area of the moon did the Eagle, piloted by the Apollo 11 astronauts, touch down on the 20th of July, 1969? So question number 3 again. On what area of the moon did the Eagle, piloted by the Apollo 11 astronauts, touch down on the 20th of July, 1969? Carol Green said, aye. Aye, aye. Florida. Well, at least you know the answer to number 1 then, Ian. We're doing all right. Question number 4. Listen carefully. Originally founded in 1926 by William Henry Laws, which sport is governed by the ITTF? So originally founded in 1926 by William Henry Laws, which sport is governed by the ITTF? You might be able to work that out, so let's hope you can. Because, of course, question number 5, what is the connection between the previous 4 answers? And it's a 1-word connection that I'm after. So what is the connection between the previous 4 answers? It's a 1-word connection that will connect those previous 4 answers. Right then, after that rather interesting, one almost might say palate-quenching pineapple beer, we are now going to hit something a little bit on the darker side. This is Titanic's Plum Porter, which is a favourite of ours. If you like a dark beer, you can't go far wrong with a Plum Porter. Very fruity, rich. I would say with a great taste of plums, but I'm not convinced. My wife says it is. But when I eat plum duff or plum pudding, it doesn't taste anything like Plum Porter. Never mind. Still very nice. Right then, we'll go on with a second set of 4 general knowledge questions. Ian's saying, yeah, we sell out fast at Asda with the Plum Porter. It's interesting because Tesco seem to do the best deals on their bottle beers. You can buy 4 of most of the bottles collection for £6 at Tesco's, which is much cheaper than Sainsbury's, I have to say. Anyway, that's enough of that. Question number 6. Listen carefully. What day of the week's name is derived from the Old English meaning for the day of Odin? So what day of the week's name is derived from the Old English meaning for the day of Odin? Question number 7. This is definitely one for Team USA. Here we go then. Which time zone's name refers to how the Rockies run from northwestern Canada to the US state of New Mexico? So question 7 again. Which time zone's name refers to how the Rockies run from northwestern Canada to the US state of New Mexico? Right, let's try the Plum Porter, see how we get on with this. Very tasty. Question number 8. Listen carefully. With a name derived from ancient Greek, dendrology is the study of what large living organisms? So question 8 again. With a name derived from ancient Greek, dendrology is the study of what large living organisms? I don't know many dendrologists personally, I have to say, but never mind. I'm sure a lot of you are quite interested in it all the same. My mum was always very good at spotting these things, I have to say. Question number 9. Listen carefully. What was the title of a 1981 American comedy film starring Dudley Moore, a drunken New York City billionaire who is on the brink of an arranged marriage to a wealthy heiress, but ends up falling for a common working-class girl from Queens? So question 9 again. What is the title of a 1981 American comedy film starring Dudley Moore, a drunken New York City billionaire who is on the brink of an arranged marriage to a wealthy heiress, but ends up falling for a common working-class girl from Queens? That was a good film by any standards. And again, finally, what is the connection between the previous 4 answers? Again, it's just a one-word answer, I'm sorry tonight that I'm not looking directly at you. I will see whether I can correct that for next week. My camera seems to have worked actually all right off the phone. Not too bad. The resolution's slightly better than my standard camera. Unfortunately, the tripod I've got, which is a tiny little thing, is too high. So I need somehow to figure out how to get that down a bit. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. I think it needs to be on the floor rather than on the table. That's probably the best thing. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. It's chair, stool, something like that. We'll figure it out. Problem is I'm looking down too much at the actual computer rather than up at the camera, which is a little bit awkward, but never mind. Right then, everybody, how have we done with the Ian saying thinking of branching how you want. Right then, everybody, do we need any more time, or are we happy with all those before we go into the last silly round? 10 general knowledge questions. Right then, 2 sets of 4 general knowledge questions, blah, blah, blah. It does beg the question that we may well be lockdowns, hopefully in the UK, coming to almost an end by the time we get into May and June. But of course, that may suddenly backfire on us, but we'll see. But thankfully, more than half the adult population now have been vaccinated and, well, at least have their first dose, which is useful. So that probably means that the problem is, can any of us go abroad, you know, because they're still going to have, certainly into Europe, it appears that things are getting worse again rather than better. So that probably throws our European holidays to Spain or to France or to wherever into limbo again, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. So basically, the government are advising us not to book holidays abroad, even if I was hopefully going to India in November, but that looks might be out of the question. What's he saying? Thinking of bracket. Hello, Nick. Lucas Clements is saying, hello, Nick. Hello, Lucas. Are you taking part tonight? That's what I like to see. Right, then here we go then. Question number 1. This is the answers to the first part. Displaying musical memorabilia, of course, the cafe chain that opened in 1971 is called the Hard Rock Cafe. The Hard Rock Cafe. So well done if you got that. Now worldwide. Question number 2. In horse racing, which race course hosts the Oaks Stakes and the Coronation Cup? That's Epsom Downs. Epsom Downs, I'll be happy with Epsom. That's no problem with that. Question number 3. On what area of the moon did the Eagle, piloted by Apollo 11 astronauts, touch down? That's the Sea of Tranquility. The Sea of Tranquility. Number 4. Originally founded in 1926, William Henry Laws. Which sport is governed by the ITTF? That's table tennis, of course. And, of course, the connection between the previous 4 answers was salt. Types of salt. Rock salt, Epsom salts, sea salt, and table salt. Lucas is saying, how's my day been? Well, my day's been fine. How's yours been, Lucas? Carol saying, my cousin in Melbourne says, what's he say? Thieves. Hi to Carol Green's cousin in Melbourne anyway, so it's great to see you. You must be up early in the morning there. Question, right then, that second set, of course, what day of the week's name is derived from the Old English for the day of Odin? That's Wednesday, as in Woden, Wednesday. Number 7, that time zone I was after was Mountain Standard Time. Mountain Time will be fine, or mountain will do. Question number 3, dendrology, of course, is the study of trees. Number 9, I was after that film called Arthur, of course, where Dudley Moore was a drunken New York billionaire. And, of course, question number 10, finally, what's the connection between the previous 4 answers? It's something to do with ash. Ash Wednesday, mountain ash, ash trees, and Arthur Ashe. So well done if you got that. Right then, everybody, let's have some scores in, see how you've all fared, and we will crack on with the quiz with the last round, which of course is just general trivia tonight. So Sarah and our friends, here we go. We have our Worcester friends with 40 points. Mike Yates is also on 40 points. We have the Rugby Roach Club on 48.5 points. Georgie Lambert, 34.5 for the Yorkers. They're catching up a bit now. Squeaky Bob on 47.5. Ian Miller's on 38.5. We've got the Wheatlings on 44. Dave Allen Ellison, 47.5. Got the Famous 5, 48.5. John Humbeck's on 47. Jill and Steve Pure on 43.5. We got Jen Tracy on 41.5. The Teasers, however, on 50 points. Well played them. Piggy Mixer on 44. Graham and Jane Gifford on 40.5. We've got Trish and Anthony and Paul Ridgway. They're on 48.5, doing really well tonight. Faye and the Booby Prize Girls on 32. Do remember to give yourself an extra point there, Faye, for the chocolate cake. Ian Anthony James and Don Quizocha on 48 points. Quizzy Rascals have moved on to 51 points. We've got Adam Foster, Spoon and Fish on 39. Michelle, Charlie and Jones are on 46.5 even. Footy Fox 86 are on 35 points. We've got Home Alone 6. They've moved on to 49 points, really in the groove tonight. Lucas is on 50 points. Well played, Lucas. Keith Mitchell's on 46.5. Carol Green, yes, 10, making 50 points. Well played, Carol. Debbie McCarthy, she's moved on to 49 points. Penny Graham, 32. Oh, dear, she's saying. Mick Roberts has moved on to 48. Well played. Diane, Pinky and Perky and Friends are on 45 points. Scott Chris Mead split the difference and moved on to 49.5 points. Well played, them. PRS is saying 48.5 and some rum and raisin ice cream. What's that? Ice cream beer? 48.5. Well played them. Lisa Lasky, Team UK, USA on 43. Not too bad. Lucas is saying, Nick, 50. I got, well, yeah, I think, you said that earlier, which is great. Professor Quiz Wicket, Witty, even. That's a fantastic name. I still think that's fun. That's one of the best names of the lot. On 45.5 points. So, right at the top of the leaderboard, if you're anywhere near the 50s, we've got Carol Green. Lucas apparently is on 50. We've got the Quizzy Rascals on 51. We've got a number on 48s, 49s. We've got the Teasers on 50. We got Famous 5, 48.5, 47s, 49s. So we're all there or thereabouts. Anybody close to 50 tonight has got a good chance of winning a quiz. So general trivia, let's finish you off with this and see how we go. Question number 1. This is a bit of a multiple choice question, but what's that? Lucas saying, I'm going to have to go to bed now, Nick. Ready for school tomorrow. You go to bed, Lucas. Good night, and thanks for taking part anyway. Right, here we go then. General trivia. Question number 1. Who is an American businessman and politician who served as the 32nd governor of Idaho from 2009 to 2019? Sorry, 2007 to 2019. I'll give you the choice. Is it Butch Otter, Manish Beaver, or Hulk Seal? Typical American names. So, who is an American businessman and politician who served as the 32nd governor of Idaho from 2007 to 2019? I'll give you the choice. Was it Butch Otter, Manish Beaver, or Hulk Seal? Can I keep a straight face with that one? Maybe not. Yeah, good night, Lucas. Wait a minute. I haven't worn my silly hat for a while, so let me just try my hat out again. Yes. Got enough beer now to it. Now, wait a minute. Is it the right way around now? Yeah. No. Is it? Well, it's back to front on my screen. Is it the right way out on your screen? Yeah. Now that's interesting, that is, because my screen on my computer is back to front, and I reversed it on your screen, so it's now the right way round. But it wasn't the right way around earlier. But never mind. Anyway, 100 quizzes tonight. Right. Question number 2. What is the more common word for deglutation? Deglutation. No, deglutation, I think. So what is the more common word for deglutation? Something we all do about 600 times each day. So what is the more common word for deglutation? Something we all do about 600 times each day. Although in my case, it might be 600 times per quiz.
Andrews is old in the UK.
What's that?
Andrews is old in the UK.
I can't hear you.
Andrews is old in the UK.
It could be. Question number 3, pretty straightforward, this one. I need you to name 7 sovereign countries that lie wholly or partly within the Arctic Circle. I will give you a half point if you can name 6. So question 3 again, name 7 sovereign countries that lie wholly or partly within the Arctic Circle. Question number 4 is a daft question, but never mind. Oh, wait a minute. I'll give you a minute just to write those 6 or 7 or 8 countries down, whatever you can get. Remember, I'm just looking for countries that lie partly or wholly within the Arctic Circle. So write a few down, see whether you can get those. Ian said, my wife opened the car door for me today, which would have been a romantic gesture if we hadn't been going at 70 miles an hour. I should think so as well, Ian. I'm surprised she didn't press the button, the ejector button, you know. Well, only if she was in the driving seat, obviously. Wasn't that, you know, got to be, isn't it? The ejector seat in James Bond cars got to be in the passenger seat, hasn't it? Right then, question number 4. Listen carefully. Practiced primarily in the southern United States, noodling is a type of sport which involves wrestling with what type of animals? Don't start looking it up on Wikipedia. Practiced primarily in the southern United States, noodling is a type of sport which involves wrestling with what type of animals? Sounds like a good sport by any standards to me, but there we have it. Ooh. Oh. That didn't work very well, did it? Never mind. Question number 5 reminds me so much of my darling wife. So it's lyrics, of course. Question number 1, I saw her today. I saw her face. It was a face I loved, and I knew are the opening lyrics to which 1964 song that reached number 1 in the UK singles chart? So question 1 and 5 again. I saw her today. I saw her face. It was a face I loved, and I knew are the opening lyrics to which 1964 song that reached number 1 in the UK singles charts. Didn't go to number 1 in the States, apparently, but never mind. Ooh. What's that? Ooh. Well, it does appear that lockdown's probably going to be going on, as I said, a little bit longer than we thought. We might all have to be taking our holidays in the United Kingdom this year, if we're lucky. That's probably because other countries won't let us all in anyway, but that's by the by. Or we can't get back from the country we've just been to, so let's... Question number 6, listen carefully. What brand of tea was named after the traditional Chinese name for a doctor? It's not too hard to work out. So what brand of tea was named after the traditional Chinese name for a doctor? Right, we've just got 4 questions to finish off tonight's quiz, and it's been great to keep you all entertained for the last year on and off. I know a lot of it, we needn't take it too seriously. Quizzing's all about just a bit of fun. Well, not for everybody, obviously. It's not very funny when we go down to the pub and lose, but that's when there's money for stakes. You know what it's like. It's a big difference. Question number 7. In the Old English nursery rhyme, 2 Little Dicky Birds, what were the names of the 2 little birds? There's a good one for you. So in the Old English nursery rhyme, 2 Little Dicky Birds, what were the names of the 2 little birds? Now, for most of you who have been doing the quiz recently, I'm not quite sure how many of you know your nursery rhymes back to front. So it's well worth getting a book on nursery rhymes and learning them all. Well, at least teaching them to your grandchildren or your children or your children's children or your children's children's children or whatever. Or your daughter. Yeah, my daughter still doesn't know them. I used to read them all the time. So in the Old English nursery rhyme, 2 Little Dicky Birds, what were the names of the 2 little birds? Adam, it's a brand of tea. It's a brand of tea. Think of something that sounds a bit Chinesey and you're not far off. What's Leslie saying? Never heard of it. What, 2 little dicky birds sitting on a wall? Come on, you must have heard that. God, oh, actually, I'm giving it away now. Question number 8, I'm giving that away. That's fine, Robin. It'd be great, actually, because we haven't had the discussion in the pub for a long, long time. So it would be great to... Hopefully we can get back together and have a good discussion about all sorts of things, whatever. Right, question number 8. Listen carefully. With a name derived from Lincolnshire expressions, a gongoozler is a person who has a particular fascination with what type of transport system. And now I'm going to give you a choice here. This was on the chase. I hope you're watching. I'll give you the choice. Was it bus spotting, narrowboat spotting, or hot air balloon spotting? So with a name derived from Lincolnshire expressions, apparently, a gongoozler is a person who has a particular fascination with what type of transport system. I'll give you the choice. Was it bus spotting, narrowboat spotting, or hot air balloon spotting? Gongoozler. Yep. Well, there's one you didn't know, I'm sure, but never mind. It did come up the other day on some quiz I was watching. Stupid answer, but never mind. Robin saying your wife comes from Lincolnshire, doesn't she? She does. I don't think my wife had any idea what the hell this meant, but never mind. She can have a reasoned guess at it, I'm sure, Robin, but we'll see. They come up with some fascinating expressions, Lincolnshire people, I have to say. But never mind. I did have a discussion once in a pub, the Strugglers, or... Oh, no, it was the Vic in Lincoln itself. And we sat down, spoke to a few of the locals, and then I said, my wife keeps coming up with all these strange expressions. And I mentioned a few of them, and they all said, oh, yes, we know that one. We know that one. We know that one. I thought, oh, my God, it's definitely Lincolnshire here, but never mind. Strange lot of people from Lincolnshire, but never mind. Right, question number 9. Who is Captain Pugwash's fearsome arch enemy and captain of the Flying Dustman? So question 9 again. Who is Captain Pugwash's fearsome arch enemy and captain of the Flying Dustman? I told you these are all silly questions, but never mind. They're not all silly questions. Because the last one's quite sensible, never mind. Right, just to finish you all off tonight, and thanks everybody for taking part. It's been great to see so many people taking part on the quiz. We've had virtually 80 odd people taking part all night tonight, plus or minus. So question number 10, also called broken twill weave, what more common name describes a distinctive V-shaped weaving pattern usually found in twill fabric? So question 10 again, also called broken twill weave, what more common name describes a distinctive V-shaped weaving pattern usually found in twill fabric? There we have it. 10 general knowledge questions. Let's see how you fare with that little lot. Some silly things there, not so silly things, but never mind. What did I read on the news today? There was something interesting in the news today. Oh, yes. Apparently, according to the BBC News, apparently nightclubs are not going to be able to open again, well, in a hurry, because of the lack of bouncers. Apparently, so many bouncers have gone back to mainland Europe during 2019, 2020, after the pandemic struck, that we're going to have a lack of bouncers on the doors of nightclub venues. So there we have it. They're struggling to find bouncers. So if you fancy being a bouncer, it's probably a good time to apply for a job. There we have it. But there are some daft things, I have to say, on the BBC News, but never mind. And was it yesterday? We had a record day. I don't know what today's figures have been like. Record day, 800,000 people got their first and or second vaccine, which was a record, which apparently was the equivalent to the entire adult population of both Bristol and Liverpool, according to BBC News, which sounds fantastic to me, but there we have it. So let's see whether we can get rid of this blooming thing that's been dragging us all down for the last year and get out and enjoy ourselves a little bit more. Wouldn't it be great when we can actually go down the pub or have a meal or whatever else? But I'm struggling tomorrow. It's my wife's, my beautiful wife's birthday, and I'm hoping to take her out somewhere. But where do you go? What, for a ride on the bike? For a ride in the car? Go and see a nice scenic view and have a picnic somewhere? I promised her that I'm going to take her to a garden centre, which I hate garden centres, but never mind. She seems to like them, so what the hell. Michelle saying, got my first jab Saturday. Well, I would expect most of our people online to have had a jab by now, to be fair, because I think the average age of the people that watch my quiz are probably a little bit older than we like to think, but never mind. My daughter Lydia, who she hasn't had a jab yet, is probably going to be waiting another month. What's that? Oh, the Yorkies won't have had their jabs, will they? Rory and Georgia, I don't suppose you've had yours. Sarah, what about Sarah, Russ, James and Joe? And it's got to be a few. Do feel free to post if you haven't had your jab yet and you deserve one. Well, never mind. Right then, let's, still waiting, said Ian. Michelle said, only 30. Says Michelle, still waiting as well. Fine. There's going to be a few of us waiting, but never mind. We haven't had ours yet, said Georgie and Rory. Well, it's time you did, isn't it? Yes, I'm going to put in special discomfort, whatever else. Right, let's go back to the answers to the general trivia round and see who winners, losers, or whatever are tonight. There are no losers in the quiz, to be fair. It's all a bit of Debbie saying only 29. Blimey. Anybody younger than 29? I think Georgia's possibly beats that, ain't Georgia? Rory, 21, 20. 19, 16, 17. Right, here we go then. Let's go back to that American businessman and politician. Elliot, of course, Elliot. He's only 24. He won't have had his yet. Georgia's saying we're 21. Fantastic. Debbie's only 29. Well, there we have it, you see. A lot of people in their 20s are going to be waiting a little while, but not long. I think another month we should see that enough. It does depend very much on the supply of vaccine, doesn't it, really? If they can keep going at the rate they've been going, I mean, to be fair, if we can get 875,000 a day, that's Give it a month, everybody's vaccinated. There we have it. Right then, here we go. Question number 1. I was after the American businessman and politician who served as the 32nd governor of Idaho. I gave you the choice. Was it Butch Otter, Mannish Beaver, or Hulk Seal? It was, of course, Butch Otter. Butch Otter. Question number 2. What is a more common name for deglutition? That is, of course, swallowing, which you do about apparently 600 times a day, unless you're drinking beer, in which case you're swallowing all the time. Question number 3. Name 7 sovereign countries that lie wholly or partly within the Arctic Circle. That's Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Russia, Canada, Iceland, and the USA. Now, if you manage 7 of those, give yourself a full point. If you managed 6, you can have half a point. Number 4, practiced primarily in the southern United States. Noodling is a type of sport which involves wrestling, bare hand fishing. So it's bare hand fishing. Apparently they stick their hands in and try and pull a catfish out by the mouth and wrestle it until they've got it out. Question number 5. Of course, I saw her today. I saw her face. It was a face I loved. That was a song called Needles and Pins. Needles and Pins. Number 6, that brand of tea I was after was Thai Fu tea, named after the Chinese for a doctor. Number 7, in the old nursery rhyme, 2 little dicky birds sitting on the wall, one named Peter, one named Paul, of course. Number 8, so what is the name derived from literary expressions? Gongoozler is a person who basically has a pastime of watching narrowboats, canals, something to do with narrowboats or narrowboat spotting. So that is a gongoozler. Number 9, I was after Cutthroat Jake, of course, who captained the Flying Dustman. And final number 10 was Herringbone, also known as Broken Twill Weave. Well, everybody, let's put this to bed and see how we've all fared tonight. I think, there's a lot of people putting weird 21, Elliot's 24. We've had all sorts of people telling us what their ages are tonight, proving that they need the jab as fast as we do, and it's fair enough. Right then, bare hand fishing, noodling, that's a good one, isn't it? Right, we have the Weak Links have ended up well done. Martin, Taylor and the gang. Weak Links ended up with 50 points. Well played, you. We've got the Quizzy Rascals, Val Barnes and the gang on 60 points. That may be the winning score. We will wait and see. Squeaky Bob on 54.5. Carol Green's also scored 60 points. Well played, Carol. Faye McSorley on a fantastic 38 points. And thank you very much, Faye. I hope you've given yourself those extra points for the chocolate cake and the card. Sorry, I forgot to mention the card. I had 2 cards, of course. I forgot about the other one. So thank you very much for those. That was for our, obviously for our 100th quiz. So Carol ends up on 60, Faye McSorley on 38. We have Georgie Lammett and the Yorkies. They've done very well in that last round or 2, pulling themselves back up to 41.5 points. Ian Miller on 36.5. PRS 57.5 points. Well played, PRS. Sarah Rust, Jameson, Joe, well played, you lot. 47 points. We've got the famous 5. They've done pretty well as well tonight. Well done, John and Henry. 56 points for you. Clive and Janet and the Teasers on 59 points. Well, that's there or thereabouts. Mick Roberts on 57.5. Well played, Mick and Bev. I think that's a fantastic score from just the 2 of you, as it is with Debbie on 59 points. Well played, you. The Giffords end up on 48.5 points. Is that enough to beat the Pews or indeed Keith Mitchell? We'll see. So the Giffords end up on 48.5. John Homwick, 56.5 points. Leslie Barrett ends up on 49, not knowing the Dicky Birds are sitting on a wall, but never mind. Pinky and Perky and Friends on 52. Well played them. Keith Mitchell ends up on 53.5. Well played from Sonny Minehead. Penny Graham on 36. We've got Ian Anthony Jones and Don Quixote there or thereabouts. 57 points. That's a great score for them. Pick a Mix on 51.5. Split the difference, end up on 59 points. Jen and Tracy on 50.5. We've got Footy Fox 86 on a fantastic. Oh my God, it's just gone off the screen on 40.5 points. Team UK USA, they end up on 51 points. Bit of a comeback. Well played them. Jill Pugh ends up 49.5 points. And the Ridgeway is 58.5 points. That's a fantastic score. Professor Quizwitty is on 505 points. That's either 50.5 points or 505 points. My Yates on 45.5. Home Alone 6 end up with a fantastic 54.5. David Ann Anderson on 55.5 points. And Michelle 53.5. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for taking part tonight. Well done, everybody. I hope there's a little bit of quizzing knowledge that you might have learnt tonight. Gongoozling and noodling. They're two quite interesting sports or pastimes. Gongoozling. Look that one up. That's a fantastic bit of general rubbish, isn't it, that nobody knew. But it's great to see so many people taking part. Do feel free before you sign off to give me a quick like on the like button. But from me, Ange and Lydia, it's good night. Enjoy yourselves. Do come and join us on Wednesday night if you feel free, and you are free to do something. Wait a minute, Mike Yates just said 46. Just recheck the countries. Well done. Just recheck the countries. Well done indeed. John Potter, he's saying thanks, Nick and Lydia. We've had plenty of thanks tonight, so thank you, everybody. We'll look forward to seeing some of you again on Wednesday night. Do feel free to come and join us if you're doing nothing Wednesday night. I don't suppose an awful lot on Wednesday night on the television. And if not, come and join us next Sunday for our 102nd quiz. All the Rugby Road Club have ended up with a fantastic 56.5 points. So I think tonight's winners, it seemed like there was a joint top of the table tonight. We had two teams, both of which got 60 points. That's Val Barnes and the Quizzy Rascals and Carol Green, also on 60 points. So well played them. But anybody, to be fair, anybody that got in the 50s have done really well. And in fact, anybody that's taken part, really well, because it's all a bit of fun. That's what it's all about. So thank you all anyway. Good night. I'm finishing the stream now. Do feel free if you haven't done it. Who was I going to say good night to? There was another team that asked me specifically to say something because they missed the quiz last Sunday and I forgot who the other was. But never mind. I'll remember it just as I sign off. But do feel free to join us next week. That's Wednesday night or Sunday night. Thank you very much for taking part tonight. And good night. I'll see whether I can get the camera a little bit better for next week. Right way around and whatever else. So good night all and stay safe.